I would also like to add, for whatever it is worth, that I have always been very psychic, clairvoyant dreams for the most part. Both before and after these experiences, I have always been spiritual-minded. However, my OBs were short-lived, and during them, I did not meet any spiritual beings or had any major soul revelations, at least that I recall, as has been reported by other people writing in. The first OB. I am 17 years old and sitting in a classroom one warm fall afternoon listening to the teacher finish his lecture. I am also experiencing some hellish menstrual cramps. I have fainted on occasion due to these, and I am waiting for the class to end so I can get up and go to the nurse's office. There are only a few minutes left till the end of class, and if I can hold on, but I don't, I feel myself faint. But unlike other faints I've had before, and since this time I strike the side of my head on the metal rim of a desk in the row next to me as I fall off my seat. The next thing I know, I am pulled out of my body from the back, like someone has yanked my soul out painlessly, but very abruptly, for my consciousness, who I am, in other words, by the back of my neck, without seeing where I am going or headed. I find myself outside the school building, across the street from it, looking at it from what appears to be a position some dozen feet up in the air, and somewhat to the left of the front of the school. I can see the second-story window of the classroom where I was, but I do not ask myself what has happened or why I am suddenly where I find myself. I am passive, but comfortable and very aware of the colors and details of this ordinary landscape before me. Unlike a dream, this landscape reflects the type of day it was before I fainted. Sunny, blue skies, afternoon locale. One of the reasons I will never be convinced this was a dream. The colors are extra vivid, the sensation of being aware fully of this day and landscape all-encompassing. I take in the scene all at once, not just what is before me, but around me and behind me. Then I am aware of the class change bell ringing, and I observe students walking from one of the outlet school buildings towards the main building. The thing that I find curious about this later is that, as I focus on these students, I do not see them with the same sense of recognition that I did in regular awareness. Instead, a part of me, my vision, I think, telescopes right up to them, while the rest of me remains back at the same vantage point in the air. I am aware of what each particular student that I focus on is thinking and feeling. In fact, I sense what it is to be that person. But I do not regard this information as I would in regular consciousness. I mean, at that age, had someone come up to me and said, "You will have this ability to know what someone else is thinking or feeling," I would have been downright gleeful, even mischievous about it. But at this point, for whatever reason, I am passive and at peace with what is going on, and there is certainly no desire to take advantage of or manipulate any situation. Then I am suddenly sucked back towards the second-story window, pulled in through the screen in a swoosh, at which point I lose my spirit sense and black out. I regain regular consciousness from where I am lying on the floor. I feel chilly and strange and slow, as if I have been out of it for a long while, even if I felt just a minute or so before. My body feels sluggish and heavy to me. The class bell had rung. Some of the students are filing out. Some of them are looking at me as they leave. A few are snickering. Later, I heard that some of them thought I fainted due to the heat in the room. My teacher and a friend or two of mine are helping me to my feet, asking me how I feel. One of them walks me to the nurse's office. after all these years is the comfort and peace of it, as well as the vivid colors and sharp details of a landscape that I ordinarily would take for granted. No spiritual presences, though I have sensed them during other times. No bright lights or tunnels, but a clear, calm awareness, effortlessly achieved without effort on my part. The second OB, it was quite similar to my first one. I stopped breathing during a difficult childbirth. The anesthesiologist clamped a gas mask over my face, and I lost consciousness. I don't know at which point it happened, but suddenly again I was outside the hospital during the afternoon that my delivery is taking place, observing the traffic around the hospital, aware of intersections and the traffic, the partly cloudy sky, pedestrians walking into the hospital, every detail clear as a bell, the same peaceful feeling. This OB seems ever more brief than the first one, though I am not sure to this day how I know this, but I am sure of it. Then I am back in the labor room, having just delivered a fortunately healthy baby boy.
I was about 7 years old. I woke up feeling as if lead weights were on my stomach. I told my dad I felt sick to my stomach. After a few minutes, I sat up and vomited large quantities of blood. My dad helped me into the bathroom. It had been dark in my room, and he hadn't realized I had thrown up blood until I threw up again at that point in the bathroom. I felt myself pass out. I remember I wasn't concerned about falling. I think because my dad was holding me up, plus I'd never fainted before. So I didn't know what fainting was about. I remember a bit about a car ride to the hospital. Then I remember the nurses trying to get me to drink this grape-flavored stuff, barium, so that they could take an x-ray. But I kept gagging. They told me that I was not allowed to throw the stuff up. I tried hard not to while they kept pouring it down my throat, but I couldn't control the nausea, and again I threw up a large amount of blood. I guess it was then that they realized my parents had not been exaggerating when they told them about how much blood I had already vomited. They stopped trying to take the x-ray and forcing me to drink the grape stuff. I was aware of them running by my side while they were taking me down the hall on a gurney to another room. I woke up for a bit to see that the doctor had already stretched one arm out on a board of some sort and was inserting a needle into it. I turned a bit to see the same thing in my other arm. I remember the doctor telling me something, maybe words of encouragement. The next thing I knew, I was floating above myself. I could see my parents on the other side of the curtain on the bed next to me. My mom was smoking a cigarette, and my dad looked very stressed, had his hands folded on his lap. I could sort of see myself, but mostly I was watching my parents as a 7-year-old would. I don't remember having a body when I was above myself. I could see my body, but couldn't see the me who was above the scene, up in the air, doing the looking. Then every time after that, when I tried to open my eyes, it was grainy and noisy, just like when cable goes out on your TV. Same sound and visual. My first memory after that was being back in my body, waking up enough to know my mom was there. She told me if I lay quietly, she would read to me. I remember drifting in and out. I stayed in the hospital for a week. In my early 20s, when I was having an ulcer problem, I found out more about what had happened and why. They did an upper GI, which showed that my jugular vein was misshapen, probably due to the fact that I have always liked to sleep with my hand curled up under my chin. The doctor said he thought that years of sleeping like that
with the gentle pressure of my finger resting on my throat, had trained my jugular vein to bend into an abnormal position, a bit too close to my esophagus. This resulted in the piece of glass that I had swallowed nicking my jugular vein as it cut the inside of my throat. Another thing, several years later, I was telling my mom about my experience. She told me that soon after she lit the cigarette, the doctor yelled at her to put it out, but she kept smoking, ignoring the doctor until a nurse said to her, "Put it out now or leave. There are oxygen tanks present and they could ignite." Then my mom put the cigarette out, but she was embarrassed. She said that she was yelled at by the doctor and that she had buckled under their pressure to put the cigarette out. She is very strong-willed. She also told me that the point at which she had lit the cigarette was when the doctor had ordered more blood. The nurse had said, "Do you want it stat?" And his response was, "Stat? Hell, you run and you run fast. She is already dead, but we can maybe bring her around if we get more blood into her quick enough." That's when my mom lit up her cigarette. She said, "I said to my mom, that's when I was floating above myself, and I saw everything you just told me happening just the way you said it." We went on to corroborate other details of what I had seen. She was really scared and unnerved about this because we shared the same memories of what had happened. That was the same point that the doctor had just told the nurse. I was dead.